Afternoon, everyone. My name is Joshua Cazoe. I am also hailing from the beautiful twin island of Trinidad and Tobago, and I am representing a company based here in the US called First Movers AI. Well, we just like to call ourselves First Movers, and today I'll be talking about structuring AI agents for small business. Now, it will be remiss of me to not say that I do not come from a technical background. My background has been in law enforcement and intelligence for the past close to 19 years. And it was coming out from a conversation with Mark that I sought quite the pivot into this field just for a change of pace in my personal life. So that's about me and more about the company. So just to give it like a quick breakdown as well, I'll just be going through how we will talk about structuring AI agents, what small businesses want, what small businesses really need from our experience, and designing effective agent workflows, and also just give some practical takeaways building or buying AI agents, and guiding small businesses to smart AI adoption. So just a little bit of background on First Movers. It started in October of last year where our CEO, Julia McCoy, she actually was in the content marketing space doing a lot of writing, and she saw the writing on the wall, no pun intended, about seeing how these programs that are being developed that are doing writing infinitely better than a lot of humans. And she was very much against it, quite frankly. And she decided, I'm going full pivot. She created this company, started a YouTube channel, and was able to create quite an audience of people online, grew her YouTuber channel from like 19,000 followers to like 100,000 in like 5 months, all because she built out a structured flow of using AI to craft content and also use HeyGen and 11 Labs to present herself online. Now, in the recent months, our interactions with small companies, people who have teams of 40 people, maybe 200 people, a lot of them want to integrate AI into their business, but they don't know how, they don't know what they want. And we also see quite a wide spectrum, but some of them actually know that they need something, but they don't know if it's AI that they actually need. So a lot of them just want practical, immediate solutions. And it's the fundamental stuff. They want to boost efficiency, they want to stop their financial losses, and they want to automate tasks like marketing or research. And some hope that AI can serve as an all-in-one fix, but that is not always the case. Now, with these varied expectations and requests from a lot of our clients, I just realized I needed to talk deeper into it. Okay. Requests range from those who want to have a hands-off solution. Some people do not want to interact with the technology a lot. We found that some like to get a little bit dirty with the technologies that are out there, and they want to engage with the systems design. And because we have seen a wide range of this, we tend to just at least have some initial conversations, and we'll always encourage any organization, if you have a very strong technical team, carve out a team of people to bridge that gap. Identify your prompt engineers, identify people who are good with marketing and sales, and really have a lot of sit-down talks with them to be those translators for these businesses. Now, the reason why we're saying that, a lot of people have misconceptions about AI's capabilities. And this could be due to a lot of AI hype, people seeing a lot of Instagram posts about AI turning spaghetti chewing humans within what, 2 years? in the span of 2 years into something that is looking like it's shot by Wes Anderson. And they're expecting that to be translated into processes. They're expecting that to be translated into screening information. But we know that a lot of the technical aspects of artificial intelligence requires a lot of iteration. It still requires a lot of screening through data if the data is properly presented. And they are more, for the lack of a better term, they are expecting Jarvis. They want to get some super AI system that is like their overlord. There are people out there that are expecting that today. But we have to manage these expectations. So what do small businesses actually need? So coming from about, I would say about probably 300 client calls or so, people, a lot of them being looky-loos, they're coming in, they just want to see what's happening. But a lot of them just want to get a little bit of awareness. They ask a lot of questions. So we have decided that you need to advocate for a lot of consulting before you start to build. A lot of companies, I wouldn't even say companies, it's more like small solopreneurs out there who are just offering their individual automation services and say that we are building out a world of agents. And that is what's pervasive on the market. And a lot of times they're not taking the time to understand the workflow of organizations, and they're making things that are going to crash and fall apart before the project even gets started. So one of the things that we advocate for is to assess AI readiness within a company. And we've been working on a framework which we will be releasing soon, because we are actually pivoting from doing a lot of that hands-on into more consulting. So this is an encouragement for you all to check us out within the next week or two. But just to give you a little insight, the readiness that people need to have is to get them to craft data that is ideal for the tools that will be best suited for them. Now, because there are multiple frameworks and different ways that different LLMs process information, we are asking clients to at least have someone on their team test and make sure that their information is ready to be received by the right agents. So with that, process optimization comes first. We have found that a lot of people actually not processing their information. They don't even have fundamental standardization or SOPs within their organization with respect to organizing their data that they're collecting from clients, or even considering what is the best format to craft that information. That is still existent. So even before people want to get an AI solution, they have to get a logistics solution within their organization. We've also found that a lot of companies, they have some compliance and feasibility issues within their organizations. So for instance, organizations that are in the healthcare space that face a lot of complex nuances with regards to reaching out to to patients and getting that data and collecting that data, where and how they hold that to meet HIPAA compliance. They will have their physical standards, they will have their structures in what technology they use. However, if people are coming to us to, let's say, create an AI chatbot, and you are building it out on, let's say, BillShip, for instance. BillShip in itself is HIPAA compliant, but there are some other automation platforms that are not HIPAA compliant. Now, here's a kicker. In BillShip, the platform itself might be HIPAA compliant, but when you're building out your nodes and you're building out a bit of or you're deciding that you want to use GPTs to process the information coming in, we cannot guarantee that the way how a prompt engineer or even the GPT that people are using within the platform is going to be HIPAA compliant. And that creates another bottleneck or a risk factor to the organization. You don't want it that somebody is coming up and saying, oh, well, we could use GPT 4.0 or something, or if somebody, God forbid, says they want to use 3.5, and it's collecting information and they are not, they don't know about HIPAA compliance and they just want to collect information, but that information is going, it's not even like a team account with ChatGPT, for instance, and AI is being trained on someone's personal data. If that could be retrieved, that's a whole can of worms right there. So imagine an organization not thinking about that and sending all of that information without the patient's, without their permission. So this is some issues with sensitive information. Now, when it comes to designing AI workflows, now we took a quick look at a research done by McKinsey in last year, and it reveals that agentic systems succeed when built on well-defined, codified workflows. Now, when we were doing some of these automations for clients, let's say, for instance, a marketing agent, it should follow a clear data analysis track. The client should be meeting you and you should be asking them to meet you at the level that you require. Don't be afraid to tell them, well, we will try to make something. This is from what we have seen. We've heard that people went to clients, they went to other services and they were promised the world and it was just a hot mess, to say the least. Some NDAs were signed, so I don't want to say too much more on that. But even if it's building out campaign creation, getting feedback, refinement, and to reduce errors and focus outputs, building out these SOPs are a lifesaver. It's as simple as the behaviors of people using ChatGPT to go through their daily tasks, but not creating a project and then building out from the project. They have a standard series of operations from their company's policy built into like how they structure a product in ChatGPT. That still will extend into how they build the agents. A lot of people are not following these protocols. So a second point that I would like to focus on is the specialization over generalization. Now, William.ai did some tests and they found that a lot of single AI agents all kind of stuffed into one. When people want to have a multiplicity of agents overlapping with each other, they tend to get a lot of hallucinations. We have often seen this when we have structured agents to work with multiple forms of data, but also the lack of reliability that comes out from it. And in addition to that, the way how people work pricing into building agents in the market right now, people will want to charge per agent, as opposed to saying, I can make you one big agent to do everything in your business. But that comes with a problem when you have much more complex working systems and you have all these nodes up and running. Hallucinations are still happening and then clients are not happy. So coming down to this next point here, usability and endpoint design. Now, we have seen so many times that clients want to have a simple UX, easy to use dashboard. The challenge is that a lot of clients may not need that. And if you want to keep operational costs low, instead of having to hire an entire new UX team or outsource your information, you have to take time to brainstorm and identify what else is there already existing. Ask yourself the question, what else exists on the market that I can use as an endpoint? So for instance, we have offered a service of creating WordPress automation for clients who want to create blogs. And instead of having them go to a bespoke UX dashboard, we just used a Chrome extension to let them gather their thoughts as they're going through their conscious consumption of content online. And as they type and they build that in, that endpoint is just right there on their dashboard while they're surfing the web. When was the last time you heard that term, surfing the web? So when you're building these things in mind, these agents, think about even like the less sexy, low-tech solutions and get people in as quickly as possible. A lot of them have found that to be more useful than having a feel that they're using an app. So, multi-agent systems versus prompt engineering. Now, whilst we like to use agents to automate a lot of tasks, we have found that sometimes the easiest thing to do is to just train people on how to be a better prompt engineer. Learn how to use the application properly. A lot of people, they just feel like they want to just overextend and get what's best in the market, and sometimes it will just cost them $20 a month to ask the AI to help them properly. We have found that to be quite the use case. So just some practical takeaways before I finish here. Start simple and scale gradually. Just keep with a minimum viable product and work with that and build that capacity as you go along. Work with good prompts, standard workflows, and start people off with GPTs. There is such a gap in the market to set people off with that in their organizations. And I can't stress that enough. Start them there. Divide your tasks for accuracy. Splitting the tasks between specialized agents helps avoid the risk of errors and hallucinations, and this ensures reliability. And like I said before, focus on the right endpoints. Choose a bot, choose prompt engineering over a sexy dashboard, and don't overcomplicate it, and don't be distracted by flashy interfaces. Most times it's not needed. And spend the time to co-design and conduct ongoing consultation. That is more important than trying to give them the best thing. Just give them what they need. So this brings me to the end of my presentation, and I want to thank you all very much. This is our team. This is First Movers.